Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew, and I'm an alcoholic, and we want to welcome you to this platform here today, regardless of what your addiction may be. You're welcome here. We support multiple pathways to recovery. We want this program to work for you. If you're watching us through the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, I encourage you to share your own experience, strength, and hope, and your own words of wisdom. You never know who needs to hear what it is you have to say, and it could just change someone's life, including your own. Do encourage you to follow those Facebook posting guidelines. Should you decide to post, we want to make sure that when folks come here, they find those words of encouragement and those words of wisdom, so to speak, and they can engage in thoughtful conversation rather than just showing up and having somebody ask them for their Cash App tag or asking them on a date or send them money or whatever. So with that being said, interesting topic this morning. I was thinking about, we're wrapping up obviously the month of June, and the 6th month of the year. We're talking about step 6, right? Became willing to have God remove all of our defects of character. Man, that was a tall order for me. I bought something from, I bought an item from a store yesterday, actually, and I didn't like it. It had its own defects, so to speak. So I took it back and I got a better version. I got a version that fit more closely to what I needed. And we as human beings are a lot like that, except we will accept defects of our own character because it's easier to handle those defects of our own character. What I mean, one of my biggest defects, absolutely biggest defects, is I'm a procrastinator. Here lately, I have not even been able to write in my journal, in my book, my notation book. I literally just sit down in front of the camera and just start talking like I'm doing today. I'm a huge procrastinator. That is definitely a defective character for me. I have a lot of defects character. I tend to not have patience whenever patience is definitely needed. That's another defect I have. So I have these defects, just like that item I bought yesterday. It was slightly defective. And, so I was able to take the item back and get an item that didn't have the defects, right? That didn't have those defects that I witnessed. With me as an individual, one of the things that I realized I did over the years was I accepted those defects of my own character. I accepted the fact that I was a procrastinator, that I was impatient, that I was in a lot of ways quick to anger. I accepted these defects. Why would I just want to continue carrying around something that's defective? Why would I not want to get rid of those defects and get something that's less defective, that works better, more efficiently for me? I can do that with an item I buy in the store. Why can't I do that with my own personality, my own characteristics, my own personal attributes? And so that's where, for me, step 6 was important, because it gave me the chance to identify these defects of my own character, my procrastination, my impatience. Step 4, obviously, we clean house, right? We go through and we take stock of all the shit that's happened to us, all the bad shit we've done, blah blah blah, right? That's step 4. Step 5 is we admit to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of this wrong. So we're actually really telling somebody else basically what we wrote out in step 4. Well, whenever we're telling somebody, in step 5 anyway, whenever we're telling somebody, another human being, what will happen is we will become aware of our own personality defects, our own characteristics that are defective. We become aware of that. For me, I shared my step 5 with my qualified sponsor, and he was able to say, you know what, Drew, I see what you did here. I see what was going on here. But did you think about this? And he was able to bring out some of these character defects that I had really suppressed deep down inside, and that I didn't realize I had. And, that step 5 was important because it helped to illuminate some of my character defects, like procrastination and impatience and anger and things like that, quick to anger. So I encourage you today, if you identify the character defects, why would you want to just continue carrying them around? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like I identified the character defects and automatically they're gone. No, I had to work to correct them. Matter of fact, step 7, and, we humbly ask God to remove all of our shortcomings. We're going to talk about that later on too. But now that we've identified them in step 6, why not work to get better? Great example. If you've been following these, on Saturday, I was able to make an amends that was like 2 years old. And the very next day, I went back to I went back into that same situation and I started getting frustrated again. And I was going, I just made an amends for all this, yesterday. Why am I letting, because again, my character defects are there. They have gotten better. They have improved over time, but they're still there. They're still waiting to creep back up. And those character defects are ultimately what led to things like resentment and fear and animosity and things like that, which ultimately led me to drinking. So it's important that we stay alert to our character defects. And I want to encourage you today that if you choose to seek out those character defects on your own, which is fine, once you identify them, work to correct them, work to fix them. Step outside of your comfort zone. If you sit down and meet with your sponsor, ask your sponsor, what do you think of this situation? Where, do you think I was wrong in this situation on how I handled it? What do you think would be a character defect? Your sponsor is there to bring things out of you, to help guide you through the whole process. And so definitely encourage you to utilize your sponsor. But keep in mind, just like I went into the store and I bought something and I said, oh, shoot, this is defective. This isn't going to work for me. I just took it back and got a new one. We can do that. We can take our defects and get rid of them. We do that, of course, in step 7. We can get rid of them, or at least get rid of the old ways in which we manage those defects. And so I encourage you today, seek out those defects, because those defects of your own character, his own character defects, they could be the very thing that's really holding you back from achieving your goal of sobriety or of being clean. Seek them out, identify them, and then come up with a game plan. Meet with someone. Just talk to somebody about those character defects. Maybe your best friend, your sponsor, whoever, God. Talk to them. And find a path forward. Don't just hold on to that damaged item or that defective item and keep carrying it around. Me doing that for 40-some years, that's exactly what, no wonder I ended up being an alcoholic. So I encourage you today, take stock, identify those character defects, and then, just be willing to let them go and be willing to take them back to the store and trade them in for a better model of you. So that being said, guys, I will let you guys go. Again, I appreciate you letting me come in for 5 to 10 minutes into your lives each day and share with you. So I hope you find value and meaning in these messages that I share with you guys on the daily. So we're off to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm excited. We're going to go down there and play some kick-ass baseball. We'll probably get kicked, but that's fine. It's still going to be fun. Plus, it's a homecoming for me. Where we used to live in Atlanta. Man, I'm excited to get down there and see some of my old friends for sure. So if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out through the Recovery Classroom Facebook Messenger page. You can email us at admin@soberschool.org, or you can email me personally at drew@soberschool.org. Would love to hear your ideas for topics and discussions, and any words of wisdom or insight that you might want to share on the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page. So I'll let you guys go. We'll be talking again tomorrow, guys. Hope you have a kick-ass day, and remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.